additional money to hire more civilian staff. It also provides enough to hire 200 firefighters and includes $41 million for sidewalk repairs, an increase of $10 million. Mayor Garcetti took part in a technology conference geared towards the next generation of tech entrepreneurs to connect, collaborate, create, and receive advice. The event, called Urban Tech Connect, was put on by Plug-in South LA, a growing tech community in South LA focused on creative technologies. The mayor tweeted that LA is a global hub for tech and innovation, and we must ensure opportunities are available for all of our communities. Proud to partner with Plug-in South LA to empower a more inclusive tech sector and the next generation of entrepreneurs. The LAPD Hollywood station recently held an open house for the LGBTQ community as an opportunity to meet with officers and learn more about resources that are available, such as victim assistance services and crime prevention information. The open house also gave the department a chance to learn more about the community it serves.
It's about coming together, learning about each other's differences and diversity that makes us stronger.
Residents in Sylmar have been calling for safer equestrian street crossings for years. And now, Councilwoman Monica Rodriguez has teamed up with the LA Department of Transportation to put in a smart crosswalk that's both horse and people-friendly. Anna Marcos takes us there.
Horses and humans can now cross this highway in Sylmar and feel a lot safer, even when they butt up against motorists. The reason, a new smart crosswalk with flashing lights put in by Councilmember Monica Rodriguez.
Now I know that I can come through here and cross safely.
Sometimes I ride with my granddaughters, and it's always been a problem because the cars, they're not expecting to see a horse, and they're coming at a high rate of speed, especially on that turn. They can't see us.
People do like their horses in this area of trails and hills, but sometimes cars and horses don't share the road well.
About 4 years ago, we had an incident that a gentleman was crossing the road, just like you see every gentleman that crosses the road, was hit by a car on the horse. The horse was instantly killed. The gentleman spent at least 3 months at Olive View Hospital.
Public safety is always a priority in the district that I represent. Whether it's making sure that our pedestrians are safe when they're crossing, whether bicyclists are safe when they're coexisting amongst our roads, and when our equestrians are trying to cross safely.
Even the push button is equestrian friendly. You don't even have to get off your horse to press the button for the flashing lights.
I think this is fabulous. This is like, we've been waiting for this. You see how many horses come by here, and it's every day.
Still, we saw that some motorists will have to go through a learning curve before they learn to stop for the flashing lights and the horses.
It's new. It's going to take some time.
Look for the gap in the vehicles, then press the button to activate the warning lights before beginning to cross the street.
So rein in your horses and make sure the motorists see you and stop before you gallop off into the sunset. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
Rodriguez has completed this crosswalk within her first 8 months in office. Well, here's your chance to network with your peers and get some valuable advice at the annual Latina Conference. A senior wellness fair offers free health screenings and other services. And get ready to check out some incredible rides at a car show. All this in this week's Things to Do. Councilman Curran Price will be hosting the 3rd annual Latina Conference. This will be a day of networking, education, and empowerment for women of color. The free conference will feature leaders and experts working in the areas of civic engagement, education, health, immigration, social justice, women's rights, and much more. Like last year, attendees will be treated to motivational speakers, insightful panel discussions, live entertainment, and essential resources and valuable information. Thanks to the generosity of CD9 partners, guests will also receive complimentary breakfast, lunch, and other goodies. The conference takes place Saturday, June 2nd from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Los Angeles Trade Technical College, located at 400 West Washington Boulevard. To register, visit mujeresempoweredforsuccess.com. The Department of Rec and Parks, Councilmember Mike Bonin, and the Neighborhood Council of Westchester, Playa, and Del Rey Neighborhood Council will be hosting a free senior health and wellness fair. The fair will include free screenings, entertainment, giveaways, food, and refreshments. It all takes place Saturday, June 2nd at 10 a.m., located at the Westchester Senior Citizen Center at 8740 Lincoln Boulevard. The LAPD Valley Traffic Division is hosting its 15th annual Still Saving Lives car show. Plenty of awesome and exotic cars and LAPD vehicles will be on display, and kids will get a chance to ask the officers questions. It's a free, community, family-friendly event that hopes to improve relationships between community and law enforcement. If you'd like to register a show car, visit vtac-vtd.org. And that's a look at some things to do. Well, that's going to do it for this edition. I'm Yana Kane from all of us here at LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.
Need a recycling center? Call 311, the toll-free number for non-emergency services. 311, your one call to City Hall.
Hi, I'm Mike from Los Angeles. You're watching LA City View, Channel 35. Our city, our channel.
welcome you to the Valley City Hall, Van Nuys. Mr. Clerk, we do have a quorum. Could you please call the roll?
Blumenfield, Bonner, Buscaino, Cedillo, Engler, Harris, Dawson, Weezer, Koretzka, Corin, Martinez, O'Farrell, Price, Rodriguez, Rue, Wesson, 11 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
Okay, first order of business.
Approval of the minutes.
Cedillo moves. O'Farrell seconds. Next.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Krikorian moves and Corrett seconds. Continue.
Mr. President, for item 7, no action is required inasmuch as the mayor has signed and returned the annual budget.
Okay, so ordered. Continue.
Item 1 is an item notice for public hearing. We do have cards on that matter,
Okay,
sir.
then why don't we move forward?
Items 2 through 6 are items for which public hearings have been held.
All right, let's prepare to vote on those items. Please open the roll. Close the roll. Now tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Continue,
11 ayes.
Mr. Clerk.
Mr. President, item 8 is an item for which a public hearing has not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Okay, so without objection, that item is now before this body.
We do have cards on
we
that
do?
matter, sir.
All right, so it's been recommended, let's just hold the cards. We'll deal with that a little later. And that should take us into the presentation portion of today's meeting. With that said, I'd like to recognize Ms. Martinez.
Good morning, members, and good morning, Mr. President. Thank you very much. I am very excited to be here today to honor a very special group of talented girls from the Van Nuys High School Oratorio Chorus. Ladies, are you ready?
Mr. Spindler, you're disrupting this meeting. This is your first and last warning.
These young ladies have prepared to perform a traditional Macedonian song about women's strength, and they are ready to show us this morning their talent. Can we please help them welcome Bella Voce?
Sambo se kaname
Let's give them another big round of applause. Thank you, ladies. What did I tell you? It makes me so happy to see that these gifted girls sing about the strength and power of all women. Because let me tell you, we indeed are strong and mighty. And it's during these times when our heartfelt women's rights are being threatened by our current administration that motivates young girls like the ones right in front of you today to unite and use their voices to highlight the female experience. This group's talents have no bounds. This past April, all 5 of the vocal groups within the chorus were recognized in the International Level Heritage Competition in Anaheim, going as far as receiving awards and placing in all top categories. And it doesn't stop there, members. They were also the only school selected in the city of Los Angeles to be home to the Oratorium Project, the citywide competitive project organized by the Los Angeles Master Chorale. The Oratorio Project allows students the opportunity to compose and perform music in 9 song sets. In the fall semester, the chorus students worked with 5 talented and knowledgeable artists from the Master Chorale to research and develop the storyline. They decided to write and sing about women advocates throughout our century like Susan B. Anthony and Sojourner Truth. They titled it, Hear Our Voice, A Woman's Journey. The set focused on telling the story of individual women who move the world towards the fields of science, literature, and equality. Well, girls, we hear you, and let me just say, you couldn't be louder. It takes young advocates like yourselves to shine light in inequality. It's motivating to see you using your unique musical platform to elevate women. It's important to show that this is not only a fight for women, but it's everyone's responsibility to uphold human and civil rights. And it is why I'm so impressed by the talent that is displayed here this morning, and I'm so proud of Van Nuys High School. But it couldn't have been done without a woman who leads the school at Van Nuys High School, Principal Yolanda Gardea, who I would like to bring up to the podium to say a few words. Let's please welcome Principal Gardea.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much, Councilwoman Martinez, for having us here today. It is wonderful to show what our public schools are doing and what Los Angeles Unified School District is doing, partnering with members of the community to give our students an amazing experience. So thank you once again, and thank you for acknowledging us.
Thank you, Principal Gardea. Thank you very much for your leadership at Van Nuys High School. And this could not be possible without the engineer behind the Van Nuys High School chorus, which is our chorus director, Brianne Arevalo. If we can please help us welcome her. Where are you, Brianne Arevalo? You want to say a few words?
It is my pleasure and honor to be the director of the choral program at Van Nuys High School. These students have so much heart and they never quit. The dedication that you just heard today is just a sample of what I get to enjoy on a daily basis. We are strong and we just are so honored to share so much with the world, and we appreciate this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And right before we got started, I had asked the girls how many of them were graduating this year. They graduate next Thursday, and we have at least half of the chorus who's going to be leaving us. Can you please raise your hand, our graduating seniors? We want to wish them all good luck on their future endeavors. They are truly a family, and I know they're really sad to have some of their members graduate this year. But I also want to welcome Clara, who is the chorus program president, to say a few words. She is the leader of the group. I want her to come up. Come on over. Help me pronounce your last name again.
Peroni.
Peroni. Clara Peroni. I knew I was going to mess that up. That's why I asked you to pronounce it. But let's give Clara a big round of applause. She is the chorus program president. Welcome.
Hello. I'm Clara Peroni. Thank you all for having us again. So just briefly about the oratorio. This year we were able to write about women's rights. Every year they pick a different subject, and this year I don't think it could have been more applicable subject to our times. And it was such a wonderful opportunity for each of us to learn about women throughout history that a lot of us didn't know about. For example, Sarah Bard Field was a woman in the early 1900s who took her car and drove across the nation and got a ton of signatures asking for the right to vote for women, and she took it to President Woodrow Wilson, and he was like, no.
Pretty much.
He said something like, I don't know. In due time. There you go, which was so helpful. And so on our oratorio, we kind of followed her journey, but we made it throughout time and space, and we met women throughout history. I got to play Lily Ledbetter, who in 2008, I believe it was the first act that President Obama signed, the Equal Pay Act, and even though it didn't achieve equal pay, it extended the time you could appeal unequal pay. It was just so amazing to learn about these women, and for us to be able to write an oratorio, write the lyrics, write the music, and make our voices heard. It's so wonderful to be recognized in a way that lets us know that our voices really were heard and that they're important and that we can make a difference. And so we thank you all so much for having us and acknowledging this wonderful project. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies. And on behalf of, you want to come with Mr. Arevalo and Principal Gardea? On behalf of the City of Los Angeles and Council District 6, it's a pleasure to recognize your outstanding efforts and your artistic accomplishments. You are trailblazers, not only for the Valley, but for your high school. Thank you very much. Good luck in your future endeavors. Thank you. Thank you. Why don't you stand on that? Take off your, oh yeah, take off your name. They don't come out good in pictures. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. President.
Let's give them one more round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Martinez. Mr. Englander, would you like to proceed the next presentation? Floor is yours, Mr.
Thank you
Englander.
very much, and I'm not going to try to break out in song and.
Thank God.
Yeah, right. I'll spare you all for that. Maybe a little bit dance. All right. We got Mitch O'Farrell for that, so he's the dancer in the crowd. Actually, today it is a great day. It's my opportunity to honor the exceptional women, and when I say exceptional women, I mean just that. The United Chamber of Commerce actually began this program of inspirational women in the San Fernando Valley Award, and it is phenomenal. And so I actually had a long speech prepared to explain why we do this, why it's so important, and who each one of them is. But I'm actually going to cut all that out because I think it's more important to hear from them specifically, to let them, in their own voice, share why they've done what they've done and who they've done it for. And so to present that and begin this, it's my pleasure to introduce Catherine Sebring Cuddington, who is the community activist here in the San Fernando Valley, who served on the planning committee for this year's Inspirational Awards.
Good morning. The United Chambers of Commerce held the 4th Annual Inspirational Women of the San Fernando Valley Awards on May 3rd. This event recognizes women who have inspired, achieved, and made the San Fernando Valley a better place. Honorees were selected from a wide range of industries, including business, social services, healthcare, community advocacy, and nonprofit work. This year's honorees were an especially distinct group who have made and continue to make a profound impact on our community. I'd like to thank the council members, especially Councilmember Englander, Councilmember Blumenfield, and Councilmember Krikorian for their continued support of this event. Okay.
Thank you, thank you. Let's give her a round of applause. So our first recipient, who's no stranger to any of you, Tiffany Harris, the co-founder and CEO of Shane's Inspiration. She founded in memory of her son, Shane, and they have designed inclusive playground and educational programs that have united over 40,000 children of all abilities. I welcome Tiffany.
Thank you so much. And so the Shane's Inspiration was founded actually in memory of my dear friend's son, Catherine and Scott Williams. And that feels like my son. And we came before you 20 years ago in 1998. And we just had a dream that there might be in the city of Los Angeles one very large, regional, fully inclusive playground where all children of all abilities had an opportunity to not only play together, but to learn about each other, dissolve misconceptions, and learn respect for each other. And we made a very big request and asked for an allocation of land in Griffith Park. And you said yes. And I'll never forget that day we left. And we couldn't believe the blessing and the partnership of the council. And 2 years later, we opened a 2-acre, $1 million park in the heart of Griffith Park, our flagship playground, Shane's Inspiration. And since that time, the city council has just risen up time and time again to partner with us. We have now 68 playgrounds throughout the world in places like Russia and South Africa and Israel and Mexico and Canada and across the country. But there is no place like the city of Los Angeles that continues to champion this mission. And we have over 34 playgrounds in the city of Los Angeles that, and we're continuing to partner with the Recreation and Parks Department to plan more every single year. And we also partner with the local schools. We have served over 40,000 children in 200 schools, eliminating bias and creating a kinder, gentler, a more respectful city. And all of that would never be possible without your partnership. And so I'm so grateful. We are all so grateful. And on behalf of all of the children that we serve, thank you so much for the work that you do.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so very much. You know, Mr. Englander, I think I have three, at least three in my district. So thank you for your idea. I'm sure a lot of members of this council have these playgrounds throughout their districts. It's just phenomenal.
No, it's
I can't
incredible.
thank you enough. It's
for not just children of all abilities, but even adults like you and I, Mr. West.
Yeah, I
can then reach the monkey bars and it
haven't made it to the top yet, but at least I know I have a shot.
Laura Rathburn, the director of the Northridge Beautification Foundation, has helped expand. You remember when we launched out of my office the Clean Streets, Clean Starts program, where we actually hire folks that are unsheltered and living on the street to give back to the community, help them in sobriety, help them with shelter. And she has really hit the streets hard with this. Just done a phenomenal job of expanding it and taking it over with her partners, her co-founder of Sisters of the Streets. It's another nonprofit that collects and distributes feminine products to homeless and low-income communities, and she's just a rock star. So, Laura, thank you.
Hi. Thank you for this. This is really nice. So Sisters on the Street, we are now engaging with high schools to get them involved to start their own hygiene campaign and distribute it to homeless women, sober living homes, as well as women and children in crisis housing. And they can actually use their hours now for the service to the community hours needed to graduate. We've gotten 3 high schools to participate so far, and we're already starting to talk to more high schools for when summer is over. I'm a huge advocate and I will continue to get the community involved in advocating for our houseless neighbors, for the mentally ill, the disabled, the trafficked, and the abused. This crisis cannot be solved with just money. We must change the stigma, and that's what I'm doing. I will continue to show up in support of shelters and bridge housing. I will continue to talk to churches about safe parking. I will continue to advocate. I'm here to let you know that if you need support from the community for any proposed homeless service in your district, you let me know, and I'll be there. So thank you. Thank you, England.
She's incredible. Kathleen Sterling is an award-winning journalist and publisher with 3 local newspapers, Warner Center News, the Valley Vantage, and the Calabasas Enterprise, and here to tell you a little bit about some of the things, just some of the things she does. I present you Kathleen Sterling, another Inspirational Woman of the Year.
I'd like to thank the City Council, Mitch, and Vahid for setting this up. It is a tremendous honor. I've been running local newspapers in the Valley almost 40 years, and we have dealt with most of the issues that come before you, from homelessness, crime, development. We just did a big piece on human trafficking. I'm pleased to announce that through our editorial, the Grossman Byrne Foundation is hooked up with Rotary to donate their tattoo removal machines to the Rotary for the women that they bring off the street. So that's in the works. So I think that in 40 years we've affected change on a lot of levels. We are hyper-local to the West Valley, from basically Tarzana to Calabasas. So we deal a lot in Mr. Blumenfield's district, and he has an editorial in today's paper actually on the homeless count and how it affects the West Valley. We do pull from Councilman Kretz and Councilman Englander as well, and try and provide the community a local forum, not only for news, but for opinions and influence. So again, I'd like to thank the City Council today for this tremendous honor, and I look forward to continuing working with you. Maybe not for 40 years, but at least for the next couple to affect change in the Valley. Thank you.
Last but certainly not least, a dear friend of mine, Patty Jo Wolfson, the co-chair and board of directors of New Directions for Youth. She's been a board member for 18 years. She's raised millions of dollars for New Directions for Youth. In fact, helped build their new health and recreation center, and I welcome Patty.
I am so thankful to be here today. It's great to be at the courthouse for a good reason, an inspiring reason. Thank you to my brother, my little older brother, Mark Wolfson, he's in the back, who is here today in support of me. And thank you to Mitch for arranging this whole presentation, and the entire City Council, who many of you are friends, for your great support of our community and for New Directions for Youth. New Directions for Youth has been serving at-risk and foster kids for 44 years in our valley. I am honored to be the co-chair, as Mitch said, of this amazing organization, and we provide services and programs for at-risk and foster kids in our community. If I haven't already asked all of you for money, I will. So get ready for me knocking on your door. Thank you to two Pauls, and I will be paying a visit. But thank you again for all you do for our community. It's an honor and a privilege to live in Los Angeles.
And then lastly, who couldn't be here today, another Inspirational Woman of the Year, Wendy Gruhl, who's no stranger to any of us, certainly served with here on this esteemed body as well as our city controller, and she continues to do so much. But I couldn't help but notice a theme of this year's Inspirational Women. The women that are being honored this year have literally touched the lives of tens of thousands of not just people, but vulnerable people in our society, those that need the most with the softest voice, often no voice at all. Those who are living on the street, those don't have all the ability or capability to survive on their own, those that don't participate perhaps in society, those that need a hand up and a hand out, those that need the help the most. And that's what they've dedicated their lives to, not just the previous year. And so with them, we are all, the partners that they've created are all so grateful. And this would not be possible, quite frankly, if it weren't for such a dear friend of mine, Vahid Khorasan. I first met Vahid in the JCs, in fact, years ago. And when he was, we were both very young, before we aged out of the JCs. Haven't aged out yet. Ouch, that hurt. He hasn't aged out yet. Well, in any event, one of us has. When he first started with the JCs, I remember him showing up. I'll never forget this. And he said, I heard about a young group, and I just want to be active in my community, and I've never really done anything like this. And now you turn around years later, the guy's everywhere, doing everything. I mean, he's just incredible. And then he created this program, and I'm so grateful. So, Vahid, if you'd say a few words, come on up. I think they've said it all. If you could just say that.
Vahid, just come up and say hello. He's a good man.
Come on.
Yeah, give him a round of applause. He deserves it.
I don't think I deserve a round of applause. These honorees do this year. They've done a fantastic work throughout the community, and I will tell you that every year for the last 4 years that I've read through the nomination forms, although I've not been on the selection committee, coming close to tears would not do it justice. If you read some of their bios, they're very moving, and our community is a lot better because of them. And thank you especially to the council members who have sent staff and donated financially to help keep this award going, and hopefully we can count on you for next year as well. Thank you, Mitch.
Good to see you.
If we could just give them all one big round of applause. They all deserve it so much. Thank you. Thank you all very much.
No, thank you, and congratulations to all. I'd like to recognize Mr. Rue, and I think you're going to bring up a couple of other members with you. Mr. Rue.
And Mitch is coming, right? Oh, when I'm honoring them. Sorry about that. I'll call you up. Okay. Sorry about that. Good morning, Council President, and good morning, colleagues. We are incredibly lucky today to be joined by 4 Valley schools today. And that is Valley Academy and Holmes Middle School from Council District 12, Sutter Middle School from Council District 3, and from my own district, the Great Fourth, Van Nuys Middle School. Let's give them all a round of applause. These 4 schools are Jefferson Awards winners for their outstanding volunteer work in our communities. The Jefferson Award Foundation has been championing public service and volunteerism across our country for more than 45 years. Now, to introduce the Jefferson Awards Foundation, I'd like to bring up the Executive Director of the Greater Los Angeles, Myla Rahman, to talk about the foundation. Myla?
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Council President and members of the City Council. My name is Myla Rahman. I am the Regional Executive Director for the Jefferson Awards Foundation. And thank you, Councilmember Rue. As he alluded to earlier, the Jefferson Awards has been around since 1972. We were founded by former First Lady Jacqueline Onassis Kennedy. So though we've been around for a very long time, we're just new to the Los Angeles region, just being here for the last couple of years. And we're extremely pleased with our service that the students here and Students in Action have done. We believe that public service is both improves communities and changes the lives of those who participate. It offers the skills that propel success in school and throughout life, as you all know the sacrifices that it takes to do public service. Public service is a pathway to stronger communities and self-fulfillment. Especially at this time of great divisiveness in our country, Jefferson Awards believes that public service offers a rare and profound opportunity to unite service and celebration. Our investment in young people stems from the following held belief. In communities across America, young people are not being taught the skills they need to succeed. The Jefferson Awards Foundation youth programs develop young people into effective leaders, teammates, and problem solvers around issues that matter to them most. So thank you for having us here. Thank you for this recognition. I also want to thank our partners, Pay Scout. I want to thank Joe Sandberg and Thrive and Joy Foundation, who all make this work very possible. And thank you to you, Mr. President, and members of the council for also your sacrifices in public service. It is through your leadership that we watch and we're able to continue on. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Myla. Now to speak a bit about the winning teams in his district, I'd like to introduce Councilmember Mitch Englander.
Great, thank you very much. So it was fascinating when we first heard of this award and our community started calling our office, numerous volunteer organizations calling our office to let us know that these students have volunteered not just in their schools, but in local community organizations on their own. That's never happened, and I think it speaks volumes. These young students have worked so hard and throughout volunteerism and academics throughout the entire school year. So today we congratulate the students of Holmes Middle School and Valley Academy of Arts and Sciences alongside their teachers, their staff, and their families who have helped achieve their goals. So Holmes Middle School received the Gold Championship Award. They work to provide the homeless folks in our community and of Greater Los Angeles with basic necessities in order to lead homeless youth and provide greater opportunities for them into programs and shelter, that it would enrich their lives and themselves and the entire community. And so they are truly the golden champions, and so we welcome Holmes Middle School. Congratulations. Awesome. And signed by all three of us to Oliver Wendell Holmes Middle School, we congratulate the Golden Championship Awards of 2018. Congratulations. We also, not one, but two recipients this year in CD12, the Valley Academy of Arts and Sciences. They received the Silver Championship Award for sponsorship of Volunteer Expo in their school campus with a goal of empowering students, to give them a voice, to give them an opportunity, to think big, to choose their own public service passion, engage the community, and create a big impact. These students represent an incredible success, not just with each student, not just in their schools, but our entire city. These young minds aren't waiting until tomorrow to engage the world. They're stepping up today to become leaders for tomorrow. So I thank them for their dedication, for their value of leadership, civic engagement, and social justice. Valley Academy of Arts and Sciences. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mitch. Now representing Sutter Middle School, I'd like to introduce Councilmember Bob Blumenfield.
Great, thank you. We'll bring up Sutter School kids up here. Well, first, Mr. Rue, thank you so much for bringing forth this presentation. The Jefferson Awards, come on up, guys, come on up.
Come on, Sutter.
The Jefferson Awards are really amazing. I'm glad that they've come to Los Angeles. It's about public service. It's something that we really need to recognize. All of us in this room have devoted our lives to public service. So when we're able to see students doing this kind of work, it not only warms our heart, but it's inspiring to us, the work that you do. So I have the great pleasure of honoring students from Sutter Middle School in Winnetka. They are winners of the Silver Award. Ms. Welsh, the principal at Sutter Middle School, suggested that the school become involved in the Jefferson Awards project 3 years ago. Since then, Sutter Middle School students have done some amazing things. They've raised over $5,000 for the Pennies for Patients drive to fund leukemia and lymphoma research. And every fall, they've held a food drive to collect canned goods for our local pantry. And they've also collected a large amount of supplies for for the local animal shelter. In addition, one year Sutter Middle School students created a tutoring program for struggling math students. The students of Sutter Middle School have made a great impact on the lives of many people and many pets. They are inspirational to all of us, and I want to bring up Principal Welsh to say a few quick words about her students and all the work that they've done.
Thank you. Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, Council, for the recognition for Sutter Middle School. And I also want to make certain that we do thank the students. They are at the center of all of our projects. The kids end up graduating from year to year, but the teacher tends to return. She's been with us in this project for 3 years. She not only connects the kids to the community, she makes certain that they have a strong contribution in the community. And that's what we expect of our students. And I thank the Jefferson Foundation for supporting our students and developing their leadership skills. Thank you.
Thank you. So you would accept this token here, appreciation.
Thank you.
Photo.
Thank you, Sutter Middle School and Councilmember Bob Blumenfield. And now, it's my distinct honor to recognize and congratulate the 34 students of Van Nuys Middle School leadership class. Come on up. Van Nuys Middle School won the gold at the Jefferson Awards for their service project. And this team, made up of 19 8th graders and 15 7th graders, collected donations and assembled gift baskets for families with a newborn in the neonatal intensive care unit at Valley Presbyterian Hospital, which is just up the road from here at Councilmember Nury Martinez's district. What a truly incredible team that this is. And the Jefferson Awards Foundation, this project was student-driven from start to finish. This leadership class, led by Mr. Jason Michaels, brainstormed ideas, secured donations, and personally took gift baskets to families at Valley Presbyterian Hospital. When they started out, they had zero funding, but only an idea, and a passion to do good in their community. You see, many of the students behind me had a personal stake in this project. They have had family and friends in the neonatal intensive care, so they know just how scary it is for the parents of these infants and how meaningful a care package and a kind word can be. So they raised money. They collected baby supplies, hand lotion, stuffed animals. They even held an assembly at their school to get more kids involved. And with the support of Mr. Michaels and Assistant Principal Dr. Deborah Jellin, Principal Christina Serrano, and the incredible local business in Sherman Oaks called Pay Scout, they were able to give 40 gift baskets to the parents at Valley Presbyterian. This project says a lot about how one idea can grow into a project that brings a school and a community together. So I'm so proud of the 34 students of this leadership class for their drive, their compassion, and their service, and I hope to see all of you run for public office in the future. So thank you, and I'm so glad that we could honor you today. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Let's give our students one more round of applause. You know what, Mr. Clerk, I'm going to try to take some of our public comment right now. Do we have Alice Walker? Lorna Paisley? Alice Walker, please come forward. Lorna Paisley or Pasley. Robert Campbell, please come to the center. Please come to the podium. Yes, just come to the podium and identify yourself. Yes, ma'am. Just identify yourself.
All right,
Hi.
Lorna Paisley from Lake Balboa. I'm here to request a street sweeper for Balboa Boulevard and adjacent streets. There are 37 places on between Victory and Saticoy to get food or something to drink. There are 6 high schools and some elementary schools between these streets. Also, lots of traffic, parking on the Balboa Street Island, and a group of homeless living on Sherman Way. All of this leads to a lot of litter, much of it plastic, which can kill birds and fish when it reaches the ocean and rivers. That's nothing to be made fun of. And we have no street sweeper. The plastic that works its way into the ocean is now found in fish, drinking water, sea salt, and the human body. This can be very unhealthful for humans. This is verified by scientists and the UN. You have a notepad, and you can look it up for yourself if you are in doubt. Find the money for the street sweeper signs and clean these streets that are a mess. Someone who came to the neighborhood who was familiar with Mexico thought she was back in Mexico when she got off of the 405. Something needs to be done about this part of the street. I can't believe they can't put a sweeper on Lake Balboa or Balboa Boulevard.
Thank you. So if I could get Miss Walker, Robert Campbell, Dan, Donna Moss. Yes, identify yourself.
Hi, I'm Robert Campbell. I'm here on behalf of the resolution interest to restrict how often Airbnb hosts can rent out their apartments, their spare rooms. So thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I would like to briefly touch on two important points. First, my 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment rents for $1,800 a month. My landlord has told me he could get $2,200 a month if I moved out today. And put simply, if I and thousands like me are unable to take advantage of Airbnb for the full year, we'd have to move, which would allow landlords to raise their rents to market rates and price yet more people out of Los Angeles. I would posit Airbnb is actually helping to keep rental rates from climbing. My second point, Dr. Hoggly Woggly's Texas Barbecue, Steampunk Coffee Bar, Ocean Laundry, North Hollywood Auto Repair. These are just a few of the local businesses I recommend to my guests instead of sending them off to some chain restaurant or referring them.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Campbell. So if I could add the next speaker, and again, I'm looking for Mr. Gus, Donna, and Deborah. Please come forward and identify yourself.
Hi, my name is Donna Moss, and I'm here to talk about asking the council to not support the restrictions for Airbnb and collecting the fees. I've been a 30-year resident of the North Hollywood area, and I'm a homeowner. My guest house that I rent out through Airbnb is my main source of income right now, along with my Social Security. Believe me, it's not a lot of money, but it does keep me in my house. The restrictions and the fees would severely affect my ability to stay in my home and pay my mortgage. I might end up being one of the homeless people. And in regards to the homeless people, I would like to recommend the council take the TOT money that you collect from the Airbnb hosts and put it towards building some shelters in the San Fernando Valley for the homeless people. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, Mr. Gus, again, do we have Deborah? Deborah, just Deborah from North Hollywood? Okay, you're after Mr. Gus. Yes, sir.
Council members, I have an article in the City Watch this morning about the LA Times not telling the public about a massive loss of readership. And the question is, why isn't the LA Times telling the public that nobody in all of Europe can read the LA Times anymore? Secondly, last night in Encino, what the hell happened with the LAPD? The LAPD backed off a slow-speed police chase after 8 failed pit maneuvers, and then vigilantes were doing U-turns on Ventura Boulevard. They were getting out of their cars to try to open the pursuit person's door. It could have been deadly. I'm surprised it wasn't, and you need a change in LAPD commission leadership before it does turn deadly. Mr. Wesson, I'm writing an article about your recent claim that you denied the people of Koreatown due process because you want to get into heaven. That's not why you were elected. If you'd like to be heard, Mr. Wesson, I'd be glad to speak with you for a few minutes. I won't do it through an intermediary, but you're not, if you want to explain why you think heaven is your job right,
thank you,
you're welcome to speak.
Thank you, Mr. Gus. So, Mr. Previn, items 1, 8, and general public comment. After Deborah. Yes, Deborah.
Good morning. Hi, my name is Deborah Williamson. I am a resident of North Hollywood, California. My council member, District 2, Mr. Paul Krikorian. I'm asking I purchased a home. I am a 34-year government employee, federal government employee. Okay, they fired me 3 years ago, and I had no income coming in, and I needed to pay my bills, my home and my car. And Airbnb, thanks to Airbnb, I still have my home, I still have my car. I'm able to serve the world. This is like a dream come true. I even thought about turning it into a hotel motel, but then Airbnb is there, and I'm like, they are a lifesaver. I'm asking that you please let me continue to serve guests from around the world with my guest house, and to not, if you hire fees, if you please have them affordable.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for
Thank you,
Airbnb.
Deborah. So if I give Mr. Previn, I saw him earlier. Mr. Previn, items 1 and 8, and then general public comment. And then if I, after you, if I get Donna Pearman. Yes, Mr. Previn.
Thank you, sir. It's Eric Previn from Studio City. And I appreciate, item 7 you won't be taking comment on because it's, okay, fine, because the mayor has not made any veto yet, is that right? Fine. I'd like him to veto the TOT component if he could, because we have some problems there that need to be addressed. But item
Mr.
number 1,
Previn,
sir.
yeah.
I know. It's the liens against properties, which I always like that in the Valley you have items that pertain to the Valley. So thanks to Blumenfield and Mr. Englander for bringing down a couple of liens against their constituents down here. Make it a little easier for the people to come and speak out. I doubt they will. And then there's 2 for Mr. Weezer, who I don't think made it today, but we do appreciate it. Item number 8, I was just looking at. Here you have a $25,000, and thanks to Mr. Rue for arranging it, to do a environmental site assessment right in the nice part of Larchmont on what looks like parking lot 694 or something like that, which is used, I think, for the local, this is right near the Wilshire Golf Country Club. It's used for farmers market. So why $25,000 to do an environmental site assessment now? And I always thought environmentals were much more expensive. So I don't know what to tell you on that. That puzzles me a little bit. But the thing that I want to talk about also is these oversized vehicle restrictions that you're putting up all over the place, sir. No, they're on your agenda, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All of them are oversized vehicle restrictions.
And those are not taking public comment on those, Mr.
Oh, okay, you guys don't want any feedback on that? Fine, because I'm concerned that in some of those areas, there are big empty lots that could be used for homeless
Again,
housing.
Mr. Previn,
Or not even,
Mr.
yeah.
Mr.
Okay,
Previn.
fine. Let's try to cooperate, guys. I just want to
No,
help
Mr.
you solve
Previn,
the
you know
homeless
the rule.
crisis.
You want to go to the general public comment?
I don't mind going to general public comment if
Okay.
you want, sir. Is that your preference? Sure. So the thing I wanted to say about the transit occupancy tax, I think some of you remember because you're around the Valley, the Sportsman's Lodge had a whole project, and it came out that they got a nice discount on their transit occupancy tax bill that they weren't paying. So they made some payments. Now, evidently, they want to come back to the city and say, you know, we've been paying or we haven't been paying. We're going to check on that. But now we want another discount because evidently Mr. Weintraub, who was one of the principals in that deal, sold it to his buddy. I mean, it is a very inside City Hall operation, Mr. Weston. You're gonna love this one, I'll tell you. But what we would like to try to do is lock that down until we can get some clarity, because we don't want people getting huge discounts. I know that's one of the city's way, is to say, hey, if you're going to build a big tower of hotels, we're going to give you a huge tax break, and then the people will eat it later because we'll take all the donations as a kind of thank you. We don't like that much, because what we get then is something in our neighborhood that doesn't really help. It helps you with some tax, but then you don't even disclose how much tax you're getting because the mayor states it all by his big self. Nobody knows what really comes in, and we waive so much of it.
Thank
So
you very much. So if I could get Donna Pearman, you have item 1 and 8, and then your general public comments. So give her 2 minutes. It's already been satisfied, Donna. So you have items 1 and 8.
Okay, well, I'll do it.
Come on.
Okay, I'll do 1, 8 in public comment. You did have public comment, right?
Yes.
Okay, what we got here is huge big developers have violations, and they give a donation tax deductible to Eric Garcetti, other Democrat politicians, and all of a sudden, no violation. Homeowners have a little out of code, maybe the wall, tree broken on the sidewalk, the small violations, a big deal if it's a homeowner. Stop hurting the homeowners and the small and apartment owners. You overlook the big violations by the huge big developers and big business, and And this is a big financial burden to these people on the liens, because now all of a sudden they have to pay the lien and they have to fix the problem. So that's ridiculous. So get rid of that. Okay, now I want to go to number 8. What is this $25,000 exactly doing? What is this AB 11290 fund? And you're continually shuffling around the money to projects we know nothing about. No transparency. We don't know exactly what you guys are doing with the money when you're shuffling around, when you're transferring. Oh, this is okay because we're transferring over here, but this is really money that doesn't belong to the homeowners, and I don't believe you. I don't trust you. I don't trust this project. I don't trust you. Now,
Let's
I'll
give
go to
her a
public
1 minute.
comment. Okay, the public comment is that folks, this is a broken systems done by the Democrat Party with huge, big taxes. We got the biggest amount of gas tax anywhere. People are paying like $1 over, and huge, big property taxes. Would even bigger without Proposition 13. We got the greatest, biggest sales tax, and all they do is sit on this money and for projects that'll never get done. So we got to vote the Republicans in. We got to get Travis Allen for governor, Ricardo Benitez in Assembly 39, Mark Reed, and get rid of Cardenas, get rid of Brad Sherman. We need to get people that care about our district and reopen Van Nuys video conferences. So I'm tired of having to come down here when I should be speaking on Tuesdays or Tuesdays, coming down to Van Nuys and speaking to you from the video conferencing. And of course it's not working. Thank you.
Thank you. If I could get Mr. Murphy, Sean, items 1 and 8, and then general public.
Once again, your F kiosk is not working. I try to punch it in 3 times, had to fill out the old cards. Travis Allen for city governor.
Okay, thank you. What about Miriam? Miriam, you have items 1, 8, and general public comment.
So I have 1 minute for public comment and what? Okay, you got 2 minutes here. So I have to.
Yeah, you have a minute on item 1 and a minute on item 8, and then you have general public comment.
Okay, so it's 1 minute on each of the items.
Yes, ma'am.
Here's 1 and there's 8. They lost number 7.
Okay, your zoning is way off base, and I don't know why you can't do the job right. So I see a lot of nuisance and a lot of problems around the city, including you allow people to build tall walls on Victory and Woodman Boulevard at the corner there, really tall, and you can't even see what they're going on behind there. That's a nuisance, and I see a lot of violations going on. I see it all over the city. It's really decrepit and very, very, it brings down the market value of homes in this city. We would have higher market values. You people are ripping us off, clearly, and it's a joke. And you pass Triple H on us, and we don't have the money
I think we've
to
veered
pay
off
for this.
item 1.
Yep, Ms. Fogler, stay on the items, or we can go
I'm
directly
telling you,
to your.
it's
We can go to
bringing
your
down the
general
values
public
because how are you going to
comment.
collect Triple H? Anyway, on number 8, you aren't taking the money and you just collect wherever you want and you throw it in the general fund. So you just do whatever you please. We don't even have any transparency, no accountability of where the money goes. This is a ripoff. This whole thing, AB 1290. I never supported that bill. It should have never been passed. So I oppose this on the, and I'm going to tell my future Assemblyman Ricardo Benitez to repeal it. We're going to do all repeal laws, not create new laws. We're going to repeal laws, and we're going to put it back the way it's supposed to be, working for us, the people. This is a total ripoff, what you people are doing to our city. I know what you're doing, because I had the, never mind, on general comment.
Let's give her
public now.
general public comment.
Okay, Sanctuary City, Sanctuary State. because I have to concentrate on that. I can't concentrate on a video conference. We need to turn that thing back on. You people, I go with the President, Trump. Absolutely. He wants to help DACA, but oh no, Kamala Harris goes down there yesterday and says, no, we don't want to help DACA. Yes, we do. The Democrats are the ones that are blocking DACA, ladies and gentlemen, and want to save. We want to save the help the good ones that are here illegally. They have committed a crime, but they're not criminals. The good illegal aliens, we want to try to keep them in this country, but it's the bad ones, and they won't let us get rid of the bad ones. So the illegal aliens have all got to go because they won't let us get rid of the bad ones. We need to get rid of MS-13. We don't want these gangs. We don't want these bad people. But we have no choice. We have to get them all out of here. That's what the bottom line is. That's what the Democrats are doing. And it's very upsetting to me. You can tell by the sound of my voice. I'm sorry to tell you. I love everybody. But we can't take care of the world. We don't have enough money.
Thank you. Okay, let me get Mr. Herman, items 1 and 8 in general public comment. Mr. Herman, come forward.
Travis Allen, fuck. Now that we're still protesting on liens under the California Civil Code section of 54 and 54.8, we're asking for reasonable accommodations when it comes to the restrictions of so-called nuisance abatement, costs, and liens and compliance. You know, if it wasn't for Travis Allen, I could still be in my home. If it wasn't for Travis Allen, I could fight my lien. You see, Travis Allen's on my back supporting the ADA 1990 Title II reasonable accommodations to keep the lien away from my property and any one of your properties, so that we don't have to be homeless, as you heard the charade of puppets speak about the so-called, oh, we're supporting homelessness. Well, I've been homeless since 2008. Then I go into item number 8, Mr. Fogler or Keebler man, and it says in CD4, Mr. Fogler or Keebler man, again, redevelopment project service. Well, under the ADA, sir, you take bonds, you take grants, and you lie to the public that you're using them for measures and products and services for the people who are elderly and disabled. Thank you, Travis Allen. You're right. On the subject of approval by the mayor, thank you, Travis Allen, because I'm against relative funding for services associated with environmental site assessments, because to this day, mixed-use homes, mixed-use apartments have given us HHH. And I thank the children from the Valley coming up and stepping up on the game with Travis Allen talk about helping homeless people. I need help. Who's helping me? And that's my protest. Now my general public comment. It's really sad and unfortunate that Governor Antonio Vergosa is going to lose. It's very unfortunate that Governor asshole from San Francisco is going to lose, because anyone but them for reform and change. Broken promises and lie after lie, the same way Krikorian lies that he has a bar license, and he does not. And for that reason, Jose Huzar is not here to talk about housing in Boyle Heights. Well, fuck you, Weezar. 42 U.S.C. 1983, 42 U.S.C. 12101, Mr. Keebler, pasty white Mike Fuhr fool. Get on the job and stop Krikorian and those claims and budgets from stealing the money and pocketing and racketeering this city to a so-called deficit. And I'm talking about a real deficit. Fuck you.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Walsh, are you still here, Mr. Walsh? You have items 8. You have item 8 and your general public comment. So Mr. Walsh gets a minute for item 8 and a minute for his general public comment.
John Walsh, blogging at HollywoodHighlands.org. Number 8, again, this is environmental site assessment. They're buying property. God knows what they're going to do with it. They certainly don't tell you hear what they're going to do with it. As far as my minute is concerned, you abruptly closed and canceled the meeting because of the Muslims. Mr.
Okay.
Koretz.
I think we've gone on to general public comment.
I'm going to general public comment.
Thank you.
Mr. Koretz, do you know that what if you suck cock in a Muslim country, that's a capital offense? Now, I know you don't suck cock, but I do know that several people here suck cock. There's nothing wrong with sucking cock.
Mr. Walsh, the
Do you
city
think-
has nothing.
are you a Muslim?
Mr. Cox, the city has nothing to do with any of that.
We are canceling a meeting because of the Muslims. We canceled one, we're canceling another one. We're canceling them when capital punishment is sucking cock. Now, I want someone who is Muslim to get up and say, that's not true. It's a capital offense to suck cock. And I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, I think we veered out of the subject matter jurisdiction.
No, we haven't.
Veered to another universe.
you
Thank
suck
you.
cock,
Thank
you
you,
can be-
Mr. Walsh. Do we have a Lauren? Lauren, please come forward.
Hi. Oh, so I would like to talk on 1 and 8 in general, and I think I signed up for all of them. Can I do that? Thank you.
Yes, you may.
I'm also a part of the Northridge East Neighborhood Council. Does that mean I on the board? Do I get extra time?
No, you get to speak on items 1, 8, then you have a general public comment.
Can I start with general?
Miss, start with item 1, 8, and then go into your general public comment.
Thank you. This is one of my first times. I was very inspired today earlier in all the awards and how our youth is setting the example that we all need to be following. Item number 1 will have the effect of displacing further people that will augment the current homelessness crisis and emergency. There are resolutions in District 12 that take empty lots and rather than using them for the urban forestry trees that are dying, they're just now trying to evict the homeless from them. Our urban forestry will be gone, no trees in 20 years, unless we take action now. That is reality, and it is proved by.
I think we've moved off of item 1. Let's go
Veer
back to item 1.
item one, if
Okay,
you
so
would.
item 1 was connected with the homelessness. Item 8 is connected with the environment, and I'm about to do general comment. Do I
Let's
get
give her 1 minute for general public comment.
That'd
Go
be
ahead.
great. Okay. Well, general comment. Banishment of our most vulnerable neighbors is an abdication of the duty, responsibilities, and obligations that Los Angeles City has imposed. We cooperate with to resolve the general homelessness crisis and emergencies. And we have the ability to save or help save, start save our urban forest by utilizing these lots to camp homeless people temporarily, hire them to plant these dying trees that urban forestry doesn't have the money or infrastructure to plant. And there are creative solutions that combine money to solve these problems, and we need to start, and you need to help.
Thank you.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Spindler, items 1, 8, and general public comment.
So as usual, you're not going to let me talk on number 7, the veto. 'cause you-
1, 8, and general public comment.
You're scared of that item. We get to 1A, the biggest cocksucker in the world, Mitchell Englander's got a lien on CD 12, West Marilla Street. Taking and sodomizing this homeowner on West Marilla Street for for this $2,000 bullshit lien. The owner says, fuck you. He doesn't want a lien. He wants a waiver of the lien. Then we get to Bob Blumenfield again. And he talked about West LeMay Street the other day. He's going to waive the lien. It's still on the agenda. Get with the program. And then the worst, in the 14th District, the absentee Jose Woozar, the balding fat fuck nigger, has got 2 liens on C and D, over $2,000 apiece in one of the poorest districts in the area, made up of Latinos and others that are tired of shit. Now, they don't want this anymore. Then we get to number 8, the 4th District, ran by a rapist, David Rue, relative to funding. You know, the thing with David Rue, he's claiming his birth date was in 1976, I hear. So, relative to funding for services. Environmental site. Afraid of my words again, Herb. Acquisition of 209 North Larchmont. Stop taking property. Stop stealing property. Give it to the private sector. And stop these environmental site assessments. We're tired of it. Pave the streets and sidewalks and trim the trees and get the urban forest up. Stop playing landlord with the public treasury, you rapist motherfucker.
Okay, let's give him his 1 minute.
So Herb Wesson wants to go to heaven. Well, then it's time to confess. Right now in this room, you lied on May the 11th, 2016. I never threatened you, but you keep lying. And you want forgiveness. The Lord will not forgive you because you're lying, because you're hurting people when you lie, because you have police officers that you lie to that get people arrested, and you go with Danny Bakewell and you lie that somebody's something they're not. That's why you're afraid, because you have cancer. And you're afraid, and you got it because of what you did to me and what you're doing to Koreatown right now. You're going to destroy Koreatown with that parking lot, and you want forgiveness. No, the wrath of ye shall follow thou. That's right. You got cancer, you got 6 months left. You're going to die, son of a bitch.
Thank you, Mr. Spindler. All right. City Attorney, why don't we vote on item, you want to go 8 first? All right. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Now, item 1 is before us.
Yes, sir. For item 1, the Department of Building and Safety recommends that council continue item 1A to July 3, that council receive and file item 1B inasmuch as the property was determined to be an owner-occupied single-family dwelling and thus exempt from lien processing. That council receive and file item 1C inasmuch as the lien was partially rescinded and the balance paid. And lastly, that council confirm item 1D.
Okay, so open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Mr. Clerk, what business is before this body?
Mr. President, council has motions for posting and referral.
They are posted. They are referred. Announcements, members. Announcements. Let's all rise. Adjourning motions. I'm looking to my left side, Mr. Englander's side. Mr. Blumenfield's side, I see none. To my right side, I don't see any members. This council is adjourned.
About 99% of our clients are longshoremen. Then the other 1% is everybody else. Isaac opened back in the late 70s. The business was began by my mother and my father over 40 years ago now. My father, he worked on the docks, he worked at the canneries. So did my mother. My father used to take food from the house first, and that's how it began. My mother's tacos, her burritos got more popular than anything else. All the recipes are because of my mother. She was the one that knew how to cook. That's why my father fell over her, because my mother knew how to cook. She taught us well how to do everything. There's 5 of us. I'm the baby of the family. I have 2 sons. One's 15, and then my other one's 18. He's in college. He got a scholarship from mechanical engineering. That's the other reason why I come to work. It's madness at times. Even before we opened, they're already yanking on the door. If I didn't have my family with me here running the business, it would have been a lot harder on me. Our kitchen is small. It's like being on a ship. We're known for our carne asada, our green chili pork, which is a green burrito. That's what we're known for. We have another one called the Jones, which is red beef. That started from a man that was a dock boss on the docks. We have so many clients that have been eating here for over 20, 30 years now, even 40 years, where we know what they want. Across the street, that is the PMA Training Center. We were here pretty much the same time they actually opened up. So it was just luck. It was my mother's